In this video, I'm going to quickly teach you the basics of denying transitions on the ground in UFC 5. The first thing to remember is that the input to deny any transition in the game is holding R2 and flicking the right stick in a certain direction. So that's the back right trigger and flicking the right stick. The direction that you need to flick the right stick in is the tricky part, and that's what I'm going to show you today. So I'm going to go through transition denials in some of the most common positions you'll find yourself in, on the bottom and on the top. We'll start with when you're on the bottom. So in the gameplay on screen, imagine you're playing as Volkanovski. When you have your opponent in full guard, it's actually pretty easy to deny transitions. You just need to flick the right stick in the direction that your opponent is moving in. So if they try and transition left into half guard, you need to hold R2 and flick the right stick to the left. And then if they try and transition right into half guard, it's R2 and flick the right stick to the right. If they try and posture up, R2, flick the right stick up. So it's pretty simple so far. The general rule of thumb is to watch which way your opponent's body is moving and then flick the right stick in that direction. Bear that in mind anytime you're struggling to remember which direction to go in. Next, we'll look at when you're on the bottom in half guard, and it follows the same rule. Watch what direction they move in. So if they try and transition left towards side control, hold R2, flick the right stick left. And you can see here that depending on the fighter you're using and how quickly you deny the transition, you can actually reverse the position entirely and end up on top, which is pretty cool. If they move right towards top mount, R2, right stick, right. And then if they try and posture up, hold R2 and flick the right stick up. One thing to note is that some positions like half guard can actually be mirrored. So here you can see we're in half guard on the bottom again, except Makhachev is on the other side. So here the denials are going to be flipped. So what I said was left before will actually be right now. If this is kind of confusing, don't worry, you'll get used to it. And just remember to watch what direction they move their body in if you ever get confused. Now we're going to switch to the top position. So again, imagine you're playing as Volk and you're on top in full guard now. If they try and get up, they're going to lean up and put their arm around your head. You need to hold R2 and flick the right stick up to deny this. If they shuffle towards the right, hold R2, flick the right stick towards the right. And of course, if they shuffle towards the left, you flick left. And then finally, if they shuffle back away from you, you need to flick the right stick down. And this animation can actually look slightly different. So if you're away from the cage, it will look like this, but to deny it's still R2, right stick down. When you're on top in half guard, if they want to get into the back sitting position, they're going to shuffle their whole body to the left and you need to flick the right stick to the left. This one's a really slow animation, so it's super easy to stop. If their right hand goes down to your thigh, flick the right stick to the right, or in other words, the direction the hand moves in. So remember, like I said before, you can actually be in half guard in a mirrored position, and in that case, the left and right denials are going to be flipped. But like I keep saying, just pay attention to which way they move. If they push up to get into full guard, it's R2, right stick up. This is another really slow animation, so it's super easy to stop. When you're on the top in side control, the animations are really quick and it's pretty difficult to stop any of the transitions. But if you do manage to do it, the guy on the bottom's pretty much screwed. Like, they're just not going to be able to get out. If they kind of tuck their elbow in and move to the left, it's R2, right stick left. And if they lean towards the right, it's R2, right stick right. This is another position where it can be mirrored, so these left and right denials could be flipped depending on which side you're on. And then if they push your head up like this, it's R2, right stick up. Okay, the last position we're going to go through here is when you've got your opponent in top mount, and to be honest, these ones are really easy. They're going to really obviously push you either left, right, or up, and you need to flick the right stick in whichever direction they push you. So if they push you towards the left, R2 and right stick left. If they push you up, R2, right stick up, and so on. Alright, that covers all of the basic transition denials I wanted to go through today. It might seem confusing or it might seem overwhelming, but it's going to take some time to learn this if you're new to the game. Also, I've probably said it like 5 times already this video, but if you're ever in doubt, just look at which way they move, and most of the time it gives you a good idea about which way you need to deny. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more easy to follow UFC 5 tutorials.